Okay, welcome back to the channel. So I went down and got the bike titled, registered and insured today. I started to get on the bike to take it for a ride, popped it in gear, lurched forward. So I adjusted the cable on it, tried it again, still lurched forward. Went down and took off the inspection cover, adjusted the clutch, still lurched forward. So that means this probably the clutch plates are frozen. So this bike, from my understanding, hasn't ridden in 10 years. So whatever oil is up in there, even though it's a dry clutch, whatever oil gets in there is probably solidified by now and stuck the plates together. So we're gonna have to take the plates off, clean off the plates, and see if that helps. So let's get moving. We'll take the clutch apart. Okay, so we got the outer primary off. It looks like maybe some fairly new springs. You can see all the sludge that's in here from the old oil. Yeah, we're gonna have to pull this out. I gotta measure these from the edge of the plate, and we'll see how that goes. This Bendix doesn't look bad, so I don't know. But anyway, this is all gonna be replaced anyway. We gotta pull everything apart. Later on, you can see there's more sludge just everywhere in this inner primary from that old oil. So, all right, so let me get, we'll get going on this. We'll pull the clutch plates out. All right, so we got to take this off. So I can put a washer here to compress these springs to take this off so I don't have to deal with the springs. So I'm working on the FLH's push rods right now. How long is this freaking thing? This thing is like locked in there. Why isn't that? It's kind of weird. All right, is that going to be big enough? That'll be big enough. Yeah, this thing doesn't hardly even want to move. Let me take this over to the vise and see if I can free it up. All right, so we got this freed up. I'm not really sure why I'm going to so much trouble to do this, only to ride the bike a couple days, but yeah, we're gonna have to get a new adjusting screw because this is not really doesn't want to really do a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. Doesn't seem to be any dirt or anything in there. Let me get some cleaner. Still a little rough going in there. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Shouldn't be that rough going in here. Doesn't look like it's cross-threaded at all. Probably original to the bike. Yeah, that doesn't really want to even go in there. Yeah, this is the problem when you have a bike that hasn't been on the road in a decade. It just doesn't. Yeah, we're gonna have to put a new adjuster screw in there. All right, so we've got, let's see what that should be okay. I can tell you this one right here is not adjusted right. All right. Yeah, look at that. That's all really gunked up. All right, let's pull these plates out in the same order that they are. Yeah, these things are all stuck together. Look at that. I can't even get them apart, so they're gonna have to be cleaned. all the grunge in there. Terrible. It's like tar. Okay, so I cleaned off all the discs in the parts washer and then rinsed it off with some brake cleaner. So these are all ready to go back in. Now what we got to do is we got to clean off all the sludge that's out of here. I'm running out of brake cleaner here. And let me get some in here. It's really kind of caked in there. That's not good either. That moving in and out like that. There's no retainer. That plastic retainer, they didn't use that. Uh-oh, I'm running out of this. Yeah, I don't like the way that moves in and out like that either. That's not good. Shouldn't be moving that much. In case you don't know, this is a plastic razor. Well, this stuff is everywhere in here too. Let me see if I can see, is it up there? Yeah, it's everywhere in here. I'm gonna have to get some more brake cleaner, I think, before I can finish this, because I don't have any more. Yeah, I don't have any more. I'm gonna have to get some more brake cleaner. Okay, here's something else I noticed too. These studs that go on the disc, these are spinning, and they're not, as far as I know, they're not supposed to move. They should be riveted in. So I'm not sure why these are moving. You can see you can spin these. I've never had one that you could spin like that. I'm sure that's attributing to something. I don't know. They're supposed to be riveted in. Let me see if I have one and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the hub that I took out of the FLH, which is the same hub as the one that's in the bike. These don't spin, because if you look at these, you can replace these, but what they are is they're like peened into the back of this case. You gotta pound these things in like this. These should not be spinning. And if you look, let me see if I can get the camera in here a little bit better. So if you look right here, you can see this one turning, this one turning, this one turning. That doesn't turn, that doesn't turn. That one's not turning. These things should not turn. They're peened, like I said, they're peened into the back of this hub. And if you look at the back, they also didn't take that locking nut and lock that down with the ears. The ears are still flat against the hub, so they didn't lock that down. So I don't know who put this clutch in, but it's not correct. So if you look at this one, this has that plastic retainer. See that black plastic? That has that black plastic retainer, which stops this from moving in and out. So I don't know. It's just chain seems to be okay. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with this Bendix, but it could be because this thing is moving out. That's why it's not engaging right. See how much that moves out? That should not move out at all like that. So we're gonna get rid of these retaining springs, and we're gonna put a ramjet in there. That's what that black plastic piece is called, a ramjet. So, all right, I'm gonna have to pick this up after I go get some brake cleaning fluid, because I ran out to do this section here. Okay, I found some carb cleaner, so I'm just going to use that. It seems like it's pretty much the same stuff, but cleans everything out. I want to take some steel wool on these things here.
I am going to replace this hub because I don't like that fact that it's moving. But yeah, I don't really like that at all, but it's doing that. So whoever put those in, unless over time they just work themselves loose, but okay. So let's I think we're going to be all set with this. I'm not going to bother with that because this is all coming apart in a couple of weeks, so I'll just pick up some more carb cleaner when I go. Okay, we'll let that dry for a little bit. Carb cleaner dries pretty quick. A lot cleaner than it was, that's for sure. Good enough for the next few days anyway. All right, so we can start loading these back in. So these have a in and an out on it. Do they? I guess it doesn't matter. There's no ears on these. So it doesn't really matter if there's no ears on them. And I don't see an in and an out on these. So I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's no anti-rattle ears on these. I don't know if it matters, but see how there's a big section and a little section. I'm going to stagger that. Oh, maybe you can't stagger it. Yeah, you can. All right. Okay, so I washed this in the parts washer. It didn't really seem to do a whole lot of good. So luckily I had a 3/8 by 24 die. That's what this screw is. So now it goes in real easy. So it'll be easy to find out. Before you couldn't tell, you know, where the clutch plate was going to be because it just didn't want to go in. So now we can find that. I got to measure this first. Okay, according to the manual, it's supposed to be 1 1/32 from the release plate to the edge of this. So I think we've got to go down a little bit. So that looks like the edge right there. Let me measure the side. That looks like 1/32 all the way around. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. You can always come back and adjust this later on if we have to. That doesn't seem, it seems like it's kind of way out. All right, so we want to do this, so we're just hitting that, and I think we back it off like a half turn, and then we can tighten this down. Let me see, and I'm not getting anything on this clutch right here. Does this have to come out?
Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. Clutch worked fine. I took it out, rode fine. If you've been watching some of my short 1-2 minute videos, you see I've putting a lot of work on this bike. The last short video I think I posted was I got the turn signals working. But when I took it out for a ride, I took it up and down the street. It ran fine. I went around the block and I got back, and it seems like the rear caliper maybe had locked up at some point. I don't know when, maybe 100 yards from the house. But I got back in, and it wasn't completely locked. But I got back in, and the caliper and rotor were so hot I couldn't even touch it. So got to pull the rotor apart, the caliper apart, I mean. I'm only going to do one caliper on the front. I just want to check it. If there's no gunk in it like the rear, then I'm just going to rebuild one side for now. I'm just going to rebuild them anyway this winter, but I do want to ride this bike for a few days. Again, it's coming off the road in a couple weeks. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.